Welcome to Jurassic Park. Our next exhibit is Lanky Kong, also known as the most threatening antagonist in the Monsterverse. Anyway, let's get onto the figure, cause why else would you click on this video? To get a free meal at IHOP! For articulation, he pretty much does the same as Kong, aside from a newly added waist swivel, which feels nice. No, I'm not repeating a Jobby the Hong joke. I already did that in the Heat Ray Goji review. Now, I'm not going to point out the articulation since eyes are a thing and my voice is dead, just like my FNAF plush series. Anyways, moving on to sculpting. Our boy Scratched Emperor here is pretty good. Just like Kong, each individual fur looks pretty good for this kind of toy. He even has nails on his hands and... I ain't gonna do that again. My nose felt like an overpowered broken vacuum. Needless to say, from head to toe, he looks good. And speaking of head... not that kind. The head sculpt looks alright. Not the best, but enough to where you can tell it's him. And as for paint... okay, as much as this figure looks nice, some of the paint to me is kind of... meh. Sure, it looks alright at first glance, but to me, the issue is mostly in terms of the arms. The red lines could have had a slight fade to them, like on this torso area, which actually looks good. Not to mention the bottoms of his toes are not painted. But despite that, it doesn't bother me. Maybe it's because he stares at me like he's about to climb inside my throat and eat me from the inside. I would also be careful with the painting on the chest since it could chip off. Maybe for the arms and feet, but I don't know. Maybe it's based on my copy. Let me know what your guys' copies are like with the painting and everything. Oh yeah, the face painting looks alright, but my complaint is the eyes. Sure, they're blue, but the pupils are black. But I'm giving this a pass since it's a kid's toy and not trying to be 100% accurate. But if I spent $100 on a figure, then I expect the figure to be at least 90% accurate. But whatever, what I'm saying is the paint looks decent. Same with the sculpting. Now for his accessory, which is of course his infamous bone whip, made out of a giant noodle with wings. It looks nicely sculpted and can easily be removed from him since it's a simple plug in. What did I just say? While it does look good, it sadly cannot articulate. Like, there's no bendy wire inside, or no joints or anything. But, again, I'm gonna give it a pass. But it confuses me how they're able to get what they were accomplishing on the box art. Like, how the heck do you accomplish that with the figure unless you have to put on some bendy wire or whatever? Although, one notable thing is that in this figure, he holds it by the crystal instead of by, like, the jaw, like in the movie. And now people might complain about that, but for me, I feel like that it perfectly hides the spoilers from the movie. Because these figures were coming out when the movie was about to come out. So yeah, whip good. Now time for me to burn the figure. Just like the last figure we reviewed where Kong has lava shining off of him, the painting on the freaking male pattern baldness and whip is different and instead appears to have somewhat of a burnt look to him. Probably due to the backdrop she comes with, which is his fiery kingdom in the movie, which I honestly like a lot more than the standard figure, because it gives him a lot more of a worn out look, like he's been there for hundreds of years, hundreds of thousands of years, and like he's been fighting like other apes and like just... He getting jiggly with it, basically. And same goes with the bone whip, and it has like a little bit of a burnt look to it. It just shows its age. Here he is next to Beast Glove Kong, Evolved Goji, Abused Weapon Victim, and Mecha Godzilla. And a little fun fact, these two designs were made by the same person, along with this freaking dude and another figure, and two other figures that we're gonna get to in the future. Other than the war paint, he's a good figure. The added waist joint is nice, and the 2-pack figure is pretty good in terms of painting. I'll give them both a 3 out of 5. I would mostly recommend getting the 2-pack version because of the painting, but do whatever, it's your money. Next is Kiko.